generally what I start off with is I think about a mitten or like a mitten that's been broken down into two parts to begin with. So I'll start with some kind of a rectangle-ish thing, some kind of a mitten, and then I start looking at some of the relationships of the knuckles. And when I get into more complicated poses of the hand, this is going to make a lot more sense why I do this, and you're going to see how it's useful. But I'll look kind of from knuckle to knuckle like this, and then maybe also like this, to try and get those relationships, because there is nearly always some kind of a pattern there if you imagine there being like pieces of string stuck to each knuckle. It's going to make some kind of a shape. Of course, it would be good to get this really done well proportionally. Something that I do want to mention in terms of proportion is that often the lengths of the fingers are about the same as the length of the entire hand. I'm going to erase some of the lines that I don't need just to keep it cleaned up a little bit. All right, let's add on that thumb. Let's go through that process again on the other hand that's up here. So yeah, maybe something more like that. But since it's kind of part of the hand, we don't need to consider the thumb and where it is exactly for a while. Just that abstract shape. Definitely here, I can see that the finger length is smaller. It's shorter than the length of the palm. And this is giving me some information as I do that. It looks like I may need to adjust my outside arch just a little bit. And then just a gentler indication of that tendon on the light side. You know, nails get really tricky, I think, because we have symbols for them. So my recommendation is to look at the negative shapes around these nails. Well, there's a lot less shadow on this palm of the hand. This pad by the thumb is really defined down here because it's being pushed inwards. And then it goes through a little bit of ambiguity in the middle. Pretty much I'm just going to add some roundness to ends of the hands and ends of the fingers. So here is that initial shape with the palm right there. This for our mitten shape. Now this is where it gets interesting with those knuckle lines, like the lines connecting the knuckles. So see how it's still like a pattern? So once we do that, now this time I would make my next division, instead of going for the middle of in here, you know, I think I would actually look here first because that shape is bigger than the other shapes. All right, that is challenging. You know, this one's got a lot of similarities to the last. You can always just do this whole outside shape, or you can try and focus on like the thumb to that first knuckle and down. But, you know, find a simple shape that you can begin with, and do try and think of, you know, these elegant curves that are happening between the knuckles. This video features highlights from a full drawing lesson, which can be found on patreon.com/School of Realist Art. There you will find extended lessons, multiple examples, reference photos, and other tutorials. Check out patreon.com/School of Realist Art.